What is up, y'all? OD'd here once again, aka Big Jake, and we're doing barbecue spare ribs once again. This time we're going to do them a little different. We're going to do barbecue spare ribs the hot and fast way. Let's get it started. Alright, let me show you guys what I got going on here. This is the bottom of my WSM, my Weber Smoky Mountain. This is how I'm going to set up my fire. I got a coffee can right here in the middle. Basically what I'm going to do is pour lit coals into the middle of this coffee can, take the coffee can out, and then we will be using what's called the minion method here. We got extra unlit lump charcoal in there. I'm using lump charcoal for this cook because I like the way lump charcoal smells, and lump charcoal is hotter, it burns hotter, so you're going to get a higher temp. I also have one chunk of applewood and one chunk of cherry. That's about it. You're probably saying, is that going to be enough to get a good smoke ring? Yes, it will. I'll show you the smoke ring at the end of the cook. I got my chimney starter full of lit coals right now, so I'm going to go ahead, dump them in here in a second, and show you how everything's set up. One thing also I wanted to show you, I'm not going to be using the water pan in the WSM at all. No water pan at all. So it's going to be kind of like a direct heat thing, but you'll be far enough away from the fire that you won't burn the ribs or turn them black or anything like that. So anyways, we'll get the lit charcoal in there, and then yeah, we'll get going. All right, let's go ahead and dump these lit coals right here in the middle into this coffee can like that. If a couple of them fall out, it's not the end of the world. There we go. So I want to get this piece off of the wood because I don't want the wood burning it till I got the ribs in there. Carefully take this out. You can use tongs, or you can be dumb like me and just kind of fiddle with it. Burn your fingers. Of course, wear gloves, obviously. All right, there we go. Got your lit charcoal in the middle. I'm going to take the WSM, the body of it, put it on like this. Remember, no water pan. Shouts out to the jet flying over. All right, now start with all your vents wide open, and then we're going to go for a temperature of 275 right there. Freaking plane. 275 right there on the dome, which at the grate will get us around 300 degrees or so, and then we'll put the ribs on. So remember, start wide open, all the vents open, get to 275, then you put your ribs on, and I'm guessing it's going to take 2.5 hours to get the ribs to where we want. So anyways, we'll be back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have hit our target temperature, and we're just past 275. When you get up to about 260, 265, go ahead and close all three bottom vents down to like a quarter of the way open, and then leave the top vent wide open. We've got a good clean fire burning there. You don't see heavy white smoke billowing out. I don't even know if you can see on the camera. There's a real thin kind of bluish smoke coming out. That's what you want. Let's go ahead and put our ribs on. Actually, let me clean these grates too. There we go. All right, let's throw the ribs on here. By the way, these are cut St. Louis style. Listen to this. Hear that nice sizzle? That's because you're cooking basically direct. It's like a direct indirect cook. That's basically what we're doing here. Again, no water pan. If you want to know how to do St. Louis style, take your spare ribs, cut them up St. Louis style, and you want to know when I put my rub on and how much and all that, I'll put a link in the description to go to one of my other videos where I explain all of that. Again, I'm guessing 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours. So once this thing gets back up to 275, there we got some nice smoke coming out there from one of them wood chunks that are in there. Anyway, so we'll get back up to 275. It's what time is it now? 4:50. 5:50, we'll come back outside, take a look, see where the ribs are at. I'm guessing right around that time we'll probably go ahead and wrap them. So anyways, we'll be back. All right, y'all, it's been 1 hour with the ribs on the smoker. Lost a little bit of heat just a couple minutes ago. The wind's starting to pick up. It's starting to cool down out here. In fact, we got a storm rolling in, but it's all good. We're going to keep barbecuing. The dome temp says 250 right now, so we're probably at 275 at the grate. You see the smoke coming out of there? Let me explain to you what's happening with that smoke. Because we don't have the water pan in there, basically what's happening is the fat is rendering off of the ribs, and it's dripping down onto the coals, and then that coals, you know, that kind of cause of the fat dropping down into the coals, it's causing all that steam to kind of come back up again, and that steam from the fat hitting the coals is going to give you ribs, kind of like that grilled flavor that you kind of get when you cook a steak or something like that, instead of an indirect flavor where all you get is just smoke. So you're going to get smoke and kind of like that grilled steak flavor to your ribs. So anyways, let's check these out, see how far they've gotten. Oh yeah, they look nice. You see, flip them over here. I don't know if you can hear all that fat rendering off. I think I'm going to let you can see it too, how all that fat is rendered off there. I think I'm going to let them go for maybe another probably 15-20 minutes before I wrap them. They're getting really close, they're just not quite there yet. So anyways, also you're going to have a darker rib, by the way, when you do it this way, just because you're kind of cooking more directly. So I don't know if I do this for competition, because you're going to have a darker looking rib and you're going to have a different flavor than what most judges are used to. But anyways, let's come back in about, I'd say 20 minutes, and then we'll probably wrap the ribs. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and check these ribs out. It's been another 25 minutes. By the way, I opened up the bottom vents all the way, so all vents are now completely open. I'm still a little bit shy of what temperature I want. I'm probably at 260 right now on the dome, but I mean, the weather's changed quite a bit. It's now raining, it's windy, so anyways, we'll get it figured out. There we go. Look at that, we got a lot of the fat. Let's see if you can really see that. A lot of the fat's rendered off the top. I'm sure it's really rendered off the bottom at this point. Oh yeah, those look good. By the way, what I'm looking for before I wrap them is the pullback. You want a little bit of pullback like we got here, but not too much. In fact, these are basically ready to go. There we go. Oops, hit the camera. Anyways, let's take them inside, and we're going to go ahead and wrap them up. And we'll be back in a second. Alright, let me show you guys what we're going to do here. First thing we're going to do to wrap these, we're going to add a little bit more rub on the ribs themselves. Just on the top. You don't need to do the bottom side, because it's such a short cook. I like to add a little bit more rub. There we go. Just, let's get this little corner over here. Alright, we'll take these, flip them over. Like I said, you can see where the bones pulled away a little bit, but not too much. You're going to get a lot of that bone pull right now when you add these ribs into the foil. That's the reason for adding them to the foil, is to tenderize them, keep them moist, give them a little bit more flavor. I'm using just apple juice here. I like to use Simply Apple. You can use whatever kind of apple juice you want. I just like the flavor of Simply Apple, so that's what I use a lot. About that much. I don't know, I don't measure it. Be careful when you're wrapping. Make sure you don't puncture the foil anywhere, because then if you do, all your apple juice is going to run out. You won't really be cooking them in the apple juice. So anyways, wrap them up like that, throw them back on the smoker. I'd say we'll check them after 30 minutes and see where they're at. Alright, later. Alright, y'all, let's check these ribs out. They've basically been on now for 2 hours. By the way, I put some corn on. Gonna have that for dinner. By the way, when you smoke your corn on your barbecue, keep the husk on. The smoke will turn the kernels black if you don't. So anyways, just a little tip. Let's check these ribs out, see where they're at. Yeah, those are probably good right there. Do a little bend test here. Looks like the neighbor's dog likes them. Yeah, those are good. I like that bend on there. It's pretty good. Put those down like that. Try not to make a mess. Yep, I already did. I usually do. Alright, we're going to put some sauce on them. I have some of that sauce from the Salt Lick out of Texas. This is a mustard-based sauce. You can use whatever sauce you want. Actually, I want to flip these over because we're only going to sauce one side, and we're only going to let them sit in here for 15 minutes because we're kind of cooking again with that kind of direct style. If you let them sit in here too long with this sauce on here, they will definitely burn, and you don't want to do that. So get your layer of barbecue sauce on here, let it set for 15 minutes, and then you'll be ready to take them off. Alright y'all, it's been 15 minutes with the sauce on the ribs on the smoker. Just took them off. Total of 2 hours and 15 minutes cooking time. Not bad. And we're going to put another layer of sauce on here. Again, I'm using this Salt Lick mustard based sauce, and once again you can use a ketchup based, vinegar based, whatever sauce you want. I make my own sauce. This felt like switching it up lately, so I've been using this Salt Lick stuff, which I really like. Alright, so another layer. We're going to take some foil, we're going to cover them. What we're going to do right now is let them rest. You want to let them rest for 15 minutes so the meat kind of tightens back up again and you hold all that juice and that moisture in there. So we'll let them sit for 15 minutes, and then we'll sauce them again, and then we'll cut into them. Alright, we will be back. Alright y'all, it has been 15 minutes. Check them out, check them out. We're going to add another layer of sauce here. You can do this if you want, or you don't have to. You can eat them as is. So I'm going to add one more layer here myself. Just real quick. Make them nice and purty. They smell good. I can smell that kind of grilled flavor from the fat rendering up. Alright, and here's how I cut my ribs. I always flip them over. That way it's easier to see in between the bones. Like that. You can cut them the other way if you want, but this way you get a nice, even, kind of straight cut. And I can already feel them. They got more of a char to them than they would if you cook them kind of with the water pan in there, indirect style. Check that out. Got a nice smoke ring on it, as you can see. So yeah, even after 2 hours and 15 minutes, you can achieve a nice smoke ring. Let's check them out. Let's get the texture here. Oh yeah, those are good. Got a nice bite mark in there. They're tender, they're juicy, just like if you'd cooked them for 4 or 5 hours. They got that nice rendered off fat taste from the coals. Yeah, these came out perfect. So anyways, if you want to do ribs, 2 hours and 15 minutes, and have it come out great, that's how you do it. Alright, OD, I'm out of here.